Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm Stephanie Fisher. I'm a licensed counselor here in the state of Michigan, and I'm owner and operator of In Progress Counseling. An analogy that I might use with clients about transitions and new seasons is inviting them into understanding the experience that my husband and I had when we were driving in New Zealand. Now, New Zealand, I'm sorry, he drove in New Zealand. I was just the passenger. That's an important clarification because it was a different level of responsibility. But even then, we were in a very new context because here in the United States, we have the driver's seat on the left side of the car and we drive on the right side of the road. In New Zealand, it's opposite. You have the driver's seat on the right side of the car and you drive on the left side of the road. It's completely cattywampus backwards. Apparently, it's very regular there. But when you transition from American driving to New Zealand driving, the amount of taxation to your energy is astronomical. So the first few days, it was incredibly taxing. We were both hyper alert to start with. Every data point matters. And so you're just primed, you're tuned in. You're looking at the car in front of you, the car behind you. You're looking at your own car because everything is backwards. It's just different. And safety is possible with that attentiveness, with following cues, but relaxation is not really quite likely because it was a brand new experience. And so we go through the first couple days, and by times we've done, 6 or 7 hours of drive time, he's done it, I haven't, we start to calm down a little bit. But the difference between driving in this new context and driving here in the United States, where we've had decades of practice, astronomically different experiences of taxation and attention. By times we got towards the end of the trip, it was fairly comfortable to be driving in this New Zealand style. And then we started traveling through mountain passes. And then you have this brand new context with this newly developed skill, and everything feels hypersensitive again. And so over the course of our trip, we're getting into little squabbles and we're getting into little annoyances with each other, and not a lot. But how could that not happen? Because the taxation to both of our systems, him as a driver who's trying to get us from point A to point B as safely as possible, me as the passenger who's trying to look at the maps and trying to orient and trying to, hey, you're going into the ditch on my side because you're not used to being on that side of the car, but I'm over here looking at, this steep drop off here, so I'm feeling a little uncertainty. We're having to practice so much trust, we're having to practice so much vigilance, and we're having to practice just being tuned in to a brand new stimuli for long stretches of time. That happens when there's a radical shift that we're navigating. So someone going back to school for the first time, or even students going into a new grade for the first time, or into a new building and into new classrooms, there's this vigilance that happens the first couple days of school that's exhausting. And a lot of students go home and they just crash out. That actually makes a lot of sense. If you geographically move to a new place, if you're starting to date someone new, or you've just moved in with someone, there's this hypervigilant system that's just trying to understand, hey, what's going on around me? Am I safe? What's safe? Am I unsafe? What's unsafe? It's a lot of taxation to the system. Newness involves a lot of energy expenditure quite typically, and we want to normalize that. So if you're finding yourself in a transition and you're finding yourself incredibly exhausted, that actually makes a ton of sense. There's a lot of new things that you're tuning into and trying, and even just being present in newness, it can tax us quite a bit. And so we would get to whether it was an Airbnb or a hotel, and Kev was conked out very soon most nights because of the energy expenditure of just being attentive to new surroundings. I want to normalize with people quite often. Of course, your energy is dipping. Of course, you might feel a little bit more on edge. It makes sense to me that you're a little prickly. Now, the more you do this new thing, the more acclimated you'll get. And so these, heightened sensations will diminish over time. And it actually makes a lot of sense that they're there, especially as we're going through a transition.